4 people at the card table. 4 fingers. 4 people driving the plot along. 4 horsemen.
And that car had 4 tires.
Right, Gerardo, what does this all mean? Nothing, and that's the point. Right now, Hollywood is drenching us in movies that demand you watch all the films, all the TV series, all the comic books, all the YouTube videos.
Hey now.
Read all the cereal boxes just to keep track of everything that's going on. Obviously, some people are down for that, but the average moviegoer really isn't. It can be exhausting, and that's not why most people go to the movies. They want to escape. They want to unwind, be transported. And that's one of the 4 reasons why John Wick works. It's old school filmmaking at its finest. The plot and goals are simple and clear-cut. There's no obligatory romance, no obligatory betrayer, no obligatory member-berry callbacks, with one massive exception that I'll get to in a bit. That simplification allows the filmmakers to focus solely on the execution. And let's face it, that's the key to good storytelling. As they say, there are no new stories, it's all in how you tell it. Consider, if you will, Avatar 2 uses the most technically advanced storytelling methods that modern cinema has seen up to this point, yet it still doesn't move people or have the emotions at heart that the John Wick movies do. You don't agree? Fight me in the comments below.
Promise?
And it's not because Avatar is essentially an animated movie. I'd argue that any Toy Story movie is more moving than Avatar. John Wick transports you with cinematography that is absolutely breathtaking. Even when showing you familiar places, the expert craftsmanship casts them in a whole different light that still makes them feel new and mysterious. And there's even a little thrill when you see obvious homages to other cinematic masterpieces like Lawrence of Arabia. By the way, the place where John Wick meets the Elder is an actual filming location for Lawrence of Arabia. Sure, things get corny once in a while, like assassins having their own radio station that broadcasts from the Eiffel Tower, but it just adds to the aesthetic. It still fits in this world, and it's a great excuse for some more epic cinematography. In talking about the cast, I'm not just singling out the obvious names like Keanu or Ian McShane as Winston or the sinister Bill Skarsgård. I love how these new faces like he and Donnie Yen and pop idol Rina Sawayama fit so seamlessly into the cast. I'm talking about the family as a whole, including the crew. A lot of these people have known each other for more than 20 years. Moviegoers were shocked in 1977 when the number 2 movie that year, Smokey and the Bandit, was directed by a stuntman. You thought I was going to say something else when I mentioned 1977, didn't you?
No, I'm the one who told you that. Now give me treat or I will bork.
Same deal here. The director, Chad Stileski, was not only a stuntman, but was Keanu's stunt double in the Matrix films.
I will bork.
Most of the crew worked on those films as well, which is the big fat member-berry I mentioned earlier. Sure, Lawrence Fishburne is an obvious callback, but they're also hitting us all the time with things like this club scene that look a hell of a lot like Zion. Or even dialogue.
Guns. Lots of guns. Guns. Lots of guns.
Okay, that's enough of that, member Barry. You still owe me a treat.
Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember.
Being directed by an actual stuntman is a critical difference. This helps put their work in the forefront and showcases their craft to the fullest. That's why we get consistent, over-the-top action sequences shot in a way that allows the audience to actually see what's going on and get invested in the action, as opposed to that fast edit, shaky cam crap that tries to trick the audience to believe that something exciting is happening we can't really fight. Hardcore fans of stunts and action movies know the name Scott Adkins, who makes an epic appearance in a fat suit playing Killa. Scott's been on the Corridor Crew couch several times breaking down his iconic moments, and I'm sure there's going to be a new episode about John Wick 4 real soon. When it comes to the action set pieces, everyone's talking about 2 things, the stairs and the epic top-down sequence with a Dragon's Breath shotgun, which was inspired by a video game called Hong Kong Massacre.
And if memory serves, Keanu dispensed some Dragon's Breath in Constantine.
Another new fan favorite is the I am Klaus guy, And yes, it was a Groot reference, but it started out as a dialogue placeholder in the script. Eventually, they decided to just keep it because it was funny. Klaus, by the way, is a legendary bouncer of an exclusive club and reportedly had no problem once refusing Elon Musk entry.
As you do.
As he do, of course. Clancy Brown is epic as the Harbinger, laying out the ground rules.
There can be only one!
Speaking of which, the Highlander... Speaking of which, the director of this film is currently slated to do the Highlander remake. We all know how we feel about remakes, but if they're going to do it, it looks like they're off to a good start by choosing him. And of course, we can't talk about the cast without mentioning Lance Reddick, who passed away mere days before the film's release. It brings an added weight to his death that actually happens in the film, more of a gut punch, really. Fans also knew him as the voice of Zavala in Destiny 2, which he was playing the night before he passed.
I need my fire team. I need Ikora and Cade.
Other players have been visiting his character in-game to pay their respects. Don't get me wrong, Kaiju. While these films are as straightforward as you can get, they're also deliciously heavy with symbolism. But you don't need to pick up on all the clues to enjoy the movie. For example, I'd even make the argument that his name is even symbolic. A wick is an unlit candle, much as he was at the start of the first movie. He was out, not threatening. A lit candle can be both beautiful and dangerous. Kill his wife and dog and let's light this baby up. In this fourth film, an hourglass is seen repeatedly even before you get into the theater, if you happen to take note of his tie in the poster. Time for John is running out. If you're paying attention, they're telegraphing really hard all the way through that he dies at the end. And they've set it up in a way that makes it almost necessary from a storytelling point of view. He's finally found peace, and this was the only way he was really going to get it. I think it has to end here, for John anyway. To bring him out again would undo a lot of the emotional work this sequel set up for us. Besides, it's not really the end. We'll see the Continental again in the upcoming prequel series, as well as the new movie Ballerina starring Ana de Armas, who can kick my ass any day.
Hey now.
Kaiju.
Surely you're joking.
That's it for this video. Click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. John A.